is so true. We'll move on to our next story now, the truth about virginity testing and debunking harmful myths in the Middle East. So virginity has always been a topic of discussion in the Middle East, and for centuries the idea of virginity has been associated with a woman's worth and honor, and the belief that a woman's virginity should be protected until marriage is deeply ingrained in many Middle Eastern cultures and cultures around the world. And unfortunately, this has led to several misconceptions about virginity, including the belief that a woman's virginity can be tested by a medical professional. Now, in a recent interview by OBGYN Dr. Dima Salem and journalist Lubna Hamdan, they discussed the myths surrounding virginity testing in the Middle East. And according to Dr. Salim, there is no exam that can determine whether a woman is a virgin or not.
She said the idea that a doctor can examine a woman's hymen to determine if she is a virgin or not is a myth that has been perpetrated for centuries. The belief in virginity testing has led to several harmful practices, including the husband stitch, which is a surgical procedure performed after childbirth to tighten the vaginal opening. This procedure is based on the idea that a woman's husband will want her to be virginal after giving birth. However, the procedure can cause severe pain, discomfort, and even permanent damage to a woman's body.
So virginity testing is not only harmful but also outdated. The idea that a woman's worth is based on her virginity is an archaic concept that has no place in modern society. Women should not be judged based on their sexual history or lack thereof, and everyone should have the right to make their own choices about their body and their sexuality without the fear of judgment or harm.
So it's important to note that there is no medical exam that can determine this. The belief of the virginity testing has led to harmful practices, as we said. Now it's time to break the stigma surrounding virginity and start talking openly, and why it's so credible that this was shared. It's obviously a taboo subject, but they spoke openly about it on the podcast show. As we said, it's a controversial, harmful practice that has been widely criticised. It's not, and the conversation is, as we said, taboo. There's obviously a lot of awareness about it as well, I do think, but it is time to break this stigma, so it's aware that this conversation is there and it's ongoing.
100%, and this conversation between Lubna and Dr. Salim, it's like one, like you said, it's such a taboo topic. You would not expect it to be spoken about so openly on such a massive platform, but this is the kind of change we were hoping for, and we're seeing it now that people are opening up about it, talking about it so freely, and like raising awareness about these kind of things. Because very honestly, I had no idea that these practices were so common until I heard about it.
Well, I think it's difficult to determine the actual prevalence of virginity testing in the Middle East. Yes, it's there, but now it's been widely criticised by human rights and how common it is, because what happens is it's actually done on kind of, it's performed in secret, or it goes unreported. It actually, many countries have banned the practice. I think that's worth noting, that it has been banned in many places, and there is growing awareness and opposition to it.
Yeah, but it's not just the cultures in the Middle East. It's also like all of these very conservative cultures around the world have this in place. Like, I was just reading about it, and it's like, it's such a common practice, like all over the world. Like families do it, like when they're finding a bride, or like their husbands, and like there are just so many ways that a woman is harmed, and that too, the ways to find out if the woman is a virgin or not. It's just like, it can really harm the woman, like so harmful, and people still go ahead with it because they want to know. They want to know if she's pure, and these are things that are outdated. And if people don't talk about it, if platforms don't openly talk about these things and raise awareness, it's like it just goes, under the carpet.
And then, as Simran said, and as the podcast noted, there's actually no way to determine. So these harmful practices are actually totally unnecessary and won't actually serve their purpose. Exactly. And where can people hear the full show?
You guys can head on to Lubna's Twitter. She shared the show on there, and then you guys can, through the link, find the actual podcast on YouTube.
Okay, we're going to jump into our next story, guys. As you know, Dubai